What happens to pedophiles in prison and what's the worst thing that I've seen happen to one? Now, this one here is a little more graphic, but it has to be known. This is where the line in prison was blurred. This is when I started to see it doesn't matter if you're in blue, like an inmate, or brown, like an officer. It's the same thing. I couldn't tell the difference because we all would come together to hurt, beat, kill, whatever it took to torture these motherfuckers. Didn't matter your race, your religion, your gang, your politics, whatever wars y'all were going through. Anybody and everybody would come together to torture these motherfuckers. And a lot of people will say, well, what the fuck? Don't they go to PC? Think about it. You look at the news and you see this shit, right? You say, if I could just be 5 minutes alone with this motherfucker, right? Well, in prison every day, you have that opportunity. The only difference is you will get away with it. And nobody cares. There is no pity for them because they're cowards. Look who they go after as victims. People that they know they can completely manipulate, hurt without even having to put up a fight. So then they come to prison and they act like, oh, they're bullying me. And they learn a treacherous fate because we see that shit and we feel the same way you do, except we can make it happen. Sometimes families call it in, favors from inmates or favors from COs or somebody that knows somebody, you know, and it makes it happen. But most of the time, it's someone like myself who sees one of them, or a CO steps to someone like me and lets it known that, look, the cell door is going to be open. Y'all rush him. Y'all 15 minutes. Or you'll just be in your cell and you'll see a CO walking one to the shower and just throw him off the top tier, laying right on his head. And they write it up as a natural cause, a seizure. And everybody's saying, I don't know, I didn't see shit, because nobody cares. You hurt children and women like that, bro, it's game over. And that's not even like the beginning of it, you know. No matter where you go, however you eat, it wouldn't matter if you had outside staff making your food for you. They're gonna put rocks in there and glass and just constantly shit and just all types of nasty raw meat, just the worst of the worst. So every day, you're scared to even eat your bologna sandwich. And canteen, I mean, it's getting taken from you. You're not allowed to have that. So it forces them to have to eat the state trays that they know have shit and piss and jizz and glass and just all types of shit. And they can't scream for help because the corrections officers are the ones that most likely are going to be the ones that put you in the blind spot. It's a rage that is just in all of us. When you hurt an innocent child like that and you finally are able to get your hands on one, I've seen it to where dudes have 6 days left and they're willing to catch a life sentence. Just, it's not like that they're emotionally dumb or this and that. It's that when you see that type of evil and you can finally do something about it, you snap. It does something to a man, and you know you could probably get away with it. And I would say the worst thing that I seen happen to one was just this. The COs set it up to where a certain inmate was gonna go into this cell. If you guys remember, Dr. Nassar was put in a blind spot, got stabbed up a bunch of times. High profile doctor in federal protective custody. If that couldn't save him, a rich Olympic doctor with all the lawyers, just imagine what happens to an average motherfucker that is just one of these demonic piece of shits with nothing. And the CO got a couple inmates to say, look, this is going to be your 15 minutes of fame. Go handle that, basically, you know, joking around. And they run in there and they beat him silly. I mean, they put this pedophile's face in the toilet and they just start stomping his face in the toilet. They're trying to flush this man's soul down the toilet. And you hear him saying, come on, bro, how come you're not treating me like you treat those kids? Just beating him senseless, hitting him with all types of improvised weapons. Finally, the COs come in there and, you know, they got to make it look like something. And everyone kind of clears out. You know, everyone knows what's up. COs rush into his cell and they're like, stop, screaming at the pedophile that's barely even breathing, half in the toilet. And they hold a can of pepper spray to his face and he died of natural causes. They say he had a seizure and had hit his head. And, you know, they didn't know that. And I thought, you know, it was asphyxiation from the pepper spray being held in his face multiple times by multiple officers after the beating he took. But it turned out the whole time he was just having a seizure and inmates were trying to help, and they went and got the officers, and the officers were trying to help also. So it's crazy. Yeah, just leave our kids alone. Stay out. Stay free. Us.